Hi, soccer friends. My name is Coach Sean. Today, I am going to read you a story called Monster Boys Soccer Game. Now, Marty Onster wants to be like all the other kids, but his parents are monsters, literally. Will making the soccer team make Marty an average Joe, or will the fur fly on the soccer field? Monster Boys Soccer Game by Carl Emerson. Mr. and Mrs. Onster watched as their son Marty played. Marty picked up a stuffed animal and spoke softly to it. "Oh, Sassafras, you're my favourite," he said. "Monty, what is he doing?" Mrs. Onster asked her husband. "I think he's cuddling his stuffed puppy," Mr. Onster replied. Mrs. Onster suddenly felt very ill. "Why isn't he tearing it limb from limb?" she cried. "Why isn't he trying to eat it? Why isn't he at least slobbering all over it?" Mr. and Mrs. Onster had been trying to raise their son to be just like them. They took him to monster class 3 nights a week. There, he learned to snarl and slobber. He was taught how to make noises under little children's beds. He was also given toenail chips and scum pudding for snacks. But he was still just a boy, not a budding monster. "Oh, Monty, what can we do?" Mrs. Onster sighed. "We have to find something to help him become the monster we know he can be." Just then, Mr. Onster saw something in the local newspaper. "Martha, I may have just the thing." Mr. Onster showed his wife the newspaper. "Maybe if we get him involved in sports, the true monster in him will come out," Mr. Onster said. Later that day, Mr. and Mrs. Onster signed Marty up for soccer. Before Marty's first practice, Mr. and Mrs. Onster gave him some advice. "Now, Marty," Mr. Onster said, "if you have the ball and the other players get in your way, run right over them. And Marty," Mrs. Onster said, "if someone on the other team scores a goal, go ahead and eat them." "I don't want to eat anyone," Marty said. "I just want to have fun playing soccer like the other kids." That was not what Mr. and Mrs. Onster wanted to hear, but they promised to watch him play anyway. The next day, Marty went to his first practice. He was very happy to see that his best friend, Sally Wheat, was on his team. He was also happy to see that Bart Ully was on a different team. During practice, Marty learned all the rules of soccer. He also learned how to be a good teammate. "When you get the ball, look for a teammate to pass to," the coach said. Marty always passed the ball. He learned to play good defense. He never ran over anyone, even when his team practiced against Bart's team. Finally, it was time for his first team's game of soccer. Marty was excited to show what a good teammate he was. The first time he got the ball, Marty passed it to Sally, and she scored. The second time he got the ball, someone from the other team stole it. Marty started to get a funny feeling inside. The next time Marty tried to pass the ball, it was stolen again. The other team scored a goal. Suddenly, Marty did not feel well. It was like his insides were turning upside down. His eyes felt hot and his skin felt thick. Marty realized he was panting, but couldn't make it stop. The next time Marty got the ball, he was panting slobbery, a snotty mess. Marty was not going to pass the ball or try dribbling the ball around anymore either. He snarled as he took the ball over and through the defense. He wound up and fired a shot, and the ball screamed into the goal. Marty's coach saw what was happening. He decided that Marty might be better playing in goal. "Maybe playing in the field isn't the right spot for you," the coach said. "I bet you could do a good job of stopping the other team from scoring." Marty's team was doing well. With the time almost out, Marty's team led 2-1. Suddenly, a boy from the other team broke through the defense. He ran in for a shot to tie the game. Marty's hair stood on end, his forehead crinkled, his claws poked out. The ball sailed toward the corner of the goal. Marty dove and made an amazing save. The referee's whistle blew. Time was up. His teammates jumped for joy. Marty wasn't slimy, slobbery or snarly anymore. He was just a little sheepish. "Sorry about the ball, coach," he said. "That's okay, Marty," said the coach, smiling. "I guess you're a real soccer animal." The end. Contain your inner monster. Tips from Marty Onster himself. Play sports that get your heart pumping. Take a break from a situation that is making you upset. Count to 10 and take deep breaths to calm down when something or someone is upsetting you. When you keep your temper, you should reward yourself with snacks of snail shells and pond scum.